From the ancient world's bartering societies to Wall Street's trading floors, the history of money is fascinating. The shady financial actors and central bank tactics brought the world to its knees during the last crisis. The government's effect on the production of money and how it leads to inflation. Furthermore, when banks issue debt, the majority of the money we use today is created out of thin air. Is Bitcoin a viable alternative to debt-backed national currencies? Will Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies usher in a new era of peer-to-peer money? In this video, we'll show you why it's the end of money as we know it. Welcome to Crypto Safe. In today's video, we're going to talk about Monero, why it's gaining attention, and where you can get your hands on them. To our supporters, we would love to grow the channel and create an open discussion on macroeconomics and privacy options. Hence, do like, subscribe, and comment under this video. Show the channel some love, as the YouTube algorithm seems not to be our friend. Without further ado, let's dive in. As skepticism of banks and their role in the financial system rose during the 2008 Great Recession, Bitcoin was born. As economies and eventually people struggle around the world, Bitcoin aims to provide an antidote to a world where private banks produce money in an irresponsible manner. Satoshi Nakamoto, an individual or a group of individuals, published a white paper in response to the centralized control of money and the trust required in handling citizens' cash. Transactions in the traditional finance system can be reversed or tampered with by third parties, resulting in high transaction costs. Bitcoin was pitched as a mechanism to conduct business without the use of a middleman. Rather than relying on third-party banks and other institutions, the Bitcoin system uses cryptographic proof to ensure the network's integrity. When the first block, known as the Genesis block, was mined on January 3, 2009, the blockchain was officially started. A week later, the first test transaction took place. Bitcoin has no real monetary worth at this point. Miners would exchange Bitcoin back and forth for fun, using powerful computers to solve complex math problems in order to discover new Bitcoins and verify that past Bitcoin transactions are legitimate and accurate. The first economic transaction took more than a year to complete when a Florida man arranged to have two $25 Papa John's pizza delivered for 10,000 BTC on May 22, 2010. The initial real-world price or value of Bitcoin was set at 4 Bitcoins per penny as a result of the transaction. In today's world, the same quantity of Bitcoin is worth about $400 million. Then in 2011, miners and coders began to build new networks such as Ethereum and Litecoin and modifying the code that underpins Bitcoin's blockchain, adapting it for other uses. This larger pool of applications attracted more users, contributing to a rise in Bitcoin's perceived value. There was also a rise in the use of Bitcoin as a form of payment, as a few firms began to accept it alongside regular currencies. It became easier to purchase, sell, trade, and store Bitcoin after it became available on exchanges in 2010. Bitcoin maintains a consistent price against the US dollar thanks to these exchanges. In El Salvador, it has been even officially approved as a legal tender alongside the dollar. Even though Bitcoin solves the infinite money creation problem, here is something that has been taken away and how we can solve it. Cryptocurrencies, as decentralized currencies where every transaction can be traced on a distributed digital ledger, can thus be seen as fighting against money being created out of thin air, rather than being created out of thin air. However, many people used to believe that Bitcoin has both anonymous and hazardous effects, and that all of these minor players were around from the beginning. Bitcoin is actually entirely transparent, since it isn't like that. It is possible to look up every transaction in the network. Anyone can look up someone's net worth. It's a blockchain technology that can show that there are ways to track, trace, and tax every single transaction, including where you got it from, who you received it from, and where it's going. It is unquestionably true that Bitcoin is completely anonymous. Now, how can we solve this problem? Since privacy is one's right, we consider privacy to be a fundamental human right. Crypto is the last remaining alternative for a cash-equivalent digital payment mechanism that maintains sender and receiver privacy. Society forfeits another right to privacy if this alternative is not available. If a compliance audit is required, suitable methods such as zero-knowledge proofs can be used to selectively reveal the transaction later. However, this does not imply that all transactions should be open to the public. We now have the technology to ensure the safety and security of transactional privacy. So what's the hack? Privacy coins like Monero, ARRR, or XHV. I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life. Take back the control, or they will manipulate you all your life. Monero is a cryptocurrency that prioritizes privacy. Contrary to popular assumptions, most blockchain transactions can be monitored by anybody. After all, they are public ledgers. Although we may not know who's behind a particular wallet address, every transaction is public information. Monero, on the other hand, employs a number of privacy-enhancing technologies to provide users with total anonymity and privacy. Ring signatures and stealth addresses are examples of this. As a result, Monero was designed to allow for entirely anonymous transactions. Monero's other major principle is decentralization. A centralized blockchain, of course, cannot be deemed private. Monero, like Bitcoin, BTC, USD, and unlike many younger altcoins, began as an open-source initiative with no backing from a large corporation or venture capitalist. There are a few things Monero does that set it apart from other blockchains and make it more decentralized and democratic in many aspects. Monero's protocol is upgraded every 6 months, regardless of what happens. The forum funding system is responsible for the changes. It is a fully voluntary donation system in which funds are dispersed to vote on proposals that the community monitors and provides comments on. Because of its small size, Monero can work effectively in this manner, but this may limit its future growth. Another appealing feature of Monero is that it is immune to ASIC mining. This means that algorithm was created with the intention of preventing mining from being dominated by a small group of specialist miners using the most expensive equipment. Monero should be simple to mine on normal PCs. Monero can process 1,000 transactions per second at maximum capacity with a transaction fee as low as a penny. Privacy isn't simply for people who have something to hide. It's a basic right that people should be free to exercise without having to defend their actions. People are exercising that choice by using privacy-focused cryptocurrencies like Monero. The fact that XMR is best known as the dark web's money speaks much about its success as a privacy coin. It would have been abandoned by its users if it didn't do such a superb job of securing their identities. Of course, the disadvantage of open access technology is that it can be used by anyone. For it is not a matter of good or bad use, we should just have the option to do so, and we see current world steers more to control society. You will own nothing and be happy. Main media is promoting XMR as dark web criminal money, but this is not the case nowadays. You see more retailers offering Monero payments. As we do have the choice to do so, the solution lies in peer-to-peer adoption. However, as more people recognize the importance of protecting the privacy of their data and online transactions, we should expect the proportion of malicious use to decline in comparison to all other use cases. The Matrix is a system, Neo. The system is our enemy, but when you're inside, you look around. What do you see? Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see for yourself. Once you see it, you can never go back. Consider this a wake-up call and pull your financial shots by yourself. Take charge of your life. With this, we've come to the end of this video. The content in this video is for educational purposes only and hence should not be considered financial advice. All the financial decisions should be made after doing your wide-spectrum research. Also, make sure that you like this video, comment down your thoughts regarding this video, and also do not forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated about the latest crypto news.